The last ministry I'm going to share about is our higher education homes. Many of our group home boys, we've got a group home boy that is in our higher education ministry. Again, these are kids that have come from different parts of the state. We have a home in Tuscaloosa and in Florence. The one in Tuscaloosa is for boys, the one in Florence for girls. We learned really quick, this is our 7th year doing this ministry. And let me back up real quick. These two homes are 100% privately financed. We take no money for the state for these kids in college. They do receive tuition through federal funding, but we provide the home, the staff, the support for these kids 24/7. In Tuscaloosa, we learned very quickly our boys usually are not ready for the University of Alabama. We made that mistake one year, and then we decided they're all going to enroll in Shelton State unless they have tuition scholarship money from the university. And they've done so much better now that we've gotten that foundation at a smaller school. And then if they want to matriculate into the university, once they get some of their basic, they can do that. Our higher education homes, the support and the wraparound service our kids get is what makes it successful. Many foster kids that attempt college, they usually don't finish. It's usually a 2 to 7% for foster kids to finish college. When you think about if they're a foster child and go into college, when the dorms shut, where do they go? There's nowhere. So we felt very strongly about our higher education homes being there 24/7. When we accept them into our program in the higher education, that's their home as long as they follow the rules and progress towards graduation. And we have changed and transitioned this ministry over the last 7 years, so it looks really different than what we started 7 years ago. And we've learned that through our kids of helping us become better at what we do. The boys' home, we've had a little more turnover than the girls, which is, I think, a national average, too, of boys not going to college as much. But we also are a place where if they fail, they can get back up and try again. One of the stories I love to share is about a young man. He was in our first class, and he was doing great. He was going to his classes, and then things kind of started going downhill. And he just said, I really just want to drink beer and sit on the couch during college. And we had to let him know that's really not what this is about. And so we put some structures in place, and he kept going outside, and we eventually had to make accommodations for him to leave. After about 6 months, he called us, and he said, what y'all are doing is really good, and I made a big mistake. And we said, well, you do these 4 to 6 things, and once those are done, let us know and reapply, and we will reconsider. And he is now a graduate. I got a call from him about 4 weeks ago, and he said, Miss Rebecca, I know I should know a lot about foster care and everything, but I don't, and I've got some questions. And he was one of our kids. He was not in foster care. Because these programs are not part of the state-run programs, we're able to take couch surfers, that's what we call them, where they're kids who are super resourceful to stay out of foster care because they don't want the stigma. But what happens is when they go to college or they age out, they have no support because they're not in the system. And so we're able to take these kids. So the young man that had called me, he is now married. He's had the same job for 4 years, I think at Ram Tool. He's in some sort of logistical management position. He's married, and his wife is a teacher, and she was seeing some abuse in one of her children, and he was so concerned. And so he called, and again, I didn't have all the answers, so I connected him with someone in the programs, and Miss Janet told me, she said, I think I've talked to him 18 times in the last 3 days. But again, that goes to show of the support that we're there. He doesn't keep up with us often, but when he needs something, we're there for him. The last story is about one of our young girls that's are really sisters that are in our higher education home in Florence. They actually come from northeast part of the state, and they were very resourceful and stayed out of foster care. They were in foster care as little girls, got out of it, and lived with a family friend. But again, the family friend was like, once y'all graduate from high school, you've got to figure something else out. So one of them started with us, and her little sister, I think, was 13 when she started with us. And we were so impressed with these two young girls. And I have stayed in touch with them. The older sister has been promoted multiple times. She's married. She has 2 children. And her younger sister always wanted to be a nurse, but our ministry was, you have to go to UNA, and she wanted to go to UAB. And so she decided she was going to sacrifice her nursing desires so she could be part of our family, because she knew the support she would get. She knew that we were going to wrap around her, that there would be mission trip opportunities. She was actually going, before COVID, she had signed up to study abroad in Spain. That didn't happen because of COVID. But she wanted to be part of our ministry. And she did so well her first year, and did the younger sister, and did everything that she was supposed to. Afterwards, she came and presented us with a proposal of her transferring to UAB. She had already done all her work to say, this is what I have to do. And we allowed that. And because she was doing so well, she still has to meet with our managers on a weekly, monthly basis and do things to stay connected. And this is a picture when the 2 sisters, this is in New York, when they went on a mission trip with us. And I share this just because being who we are and being mission oriented, we want our kids the opportunity to serve. And so we take, prior to COVID, we took our kids on mission trips. We've been to Chicago, New York, New Orleans, Santa Fe, and there's one other. And we want our kids to know that they have value and they can give back. The kids also have never had the experience to travel. We know there's great need in Alabama and great need in all of our communities, and they serve on a regular basis in their communities. But because of what we're able to do and because of your support, we get to provide them with a travel experience where maybe they've never been out of their county. And we're teaching them that the world is bigger, that they have value and they can serve others. Just this summer or this spring, this is the older sister at her baby shower, and just celebrating her second child that's coming. I do have one last story that I'll share, and then I'll close. About another young lady. She has graduated also. She lives up in this area, and she's got one more semester, I believe, of her MBA and will graduate. She just got married. She just shared with me that she interviewed and expects to get a job, or she was offered a job with the Department of Defense doing some sort of accounting. And during COVID, this is her in front of her new house that she just bought. I've been to her house. It's beautiful. And these stories, we've got many, many stories. And I've got some material that I'm going to leave wherever it's most convenient. And I hope that you'll pick it up. This is a really good piece that tells personal stories like this for all of our ministries. Again, we can't do our ministry. We can't go on the mission trips. We can't take them to celebrate their successes. We can't go above and beyond without individual and church support. We are thankful for Gunterville First United Methodist Church and all that y'all have done. As I said, y'all have been amazing supporters, and we are so very thankful. Thank you, Pastor Ricky.